Feeling friends is this concept that I came up with laying in bed one night. I have all these close friends who have these wonderful stories. Stories that can help change the world. Life experiences that can help other people believe in themselves. Hold tight to their dreams and make their dreams reality. On Feeling Friends, we talk about God, we talk about love, relationships. I have celebrity friends, I have non-celebrity friends. I have church members, family members. But when you watch and listen to Feeling Friends, you will learn and you will laugh. It's a community of friends helping to build each other up. So tune in to Feeling Friends every Sunday on WHCR 90.3 FM, or you can catch me on YouTube at Feeling Friends Radio. All right, I'll see you there. WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. What's up, everybody? It's me, Phil, and I'm so happy to be back live on air with you, my friends. I've got a new thing going on now. I've got comedians coming on. I'm so excited. It's one of my first comedians. Well, I've had a few funny people on, but we have a new guy. He is a close friend of mine, and I'm so excited. He has a show coming up, and we're going to meet him and introduce him, and his career is about to take off. So without further ado, we're going to bring Damon Royster to the stage. What's going on, my brother Damon?
Hey, Phil. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on. You are in LA, right?
Los Angeles. Yes. Sweating.
Los Angeles, man. I lived in LA for about 7 years, and I hated it. And I'm so happy to be back in New York. So, it was the worst experience of my life.
But yeah, you sound like a real New Yorker. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's either New York or LA, right? Either you like either coast.
Agreed. I've been to New York a few times. I felt like I got yelled at every day.
Oh. Well, that's how I was with being in LA, man. So tell people who you are, Damon.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Damon Royster. Live in LA right now, but I'm originally from Illinois. I don't know who's going to say this. I'll be honest. I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. The big thing about when you're from Chicago, you can't say you're from Chicago if you didn't live in the actual city. So I'm from the suburbs, but I lived in Chicago for about 10 years, and that's where I started studying comedy. I went to Second City, IO, The Annoyance, all those places.
Okay. So can you tell us what part of Chicago? I know you say suburbs, but what part of?
Oh yeah, the suburb is Lombard, Illinois.
Okay.
So if you don't know that, we're surrounded by like Elmhurst, Downers Grove, Glen Ellen. Those are kind of the bigger names. I think southwestern suburbs, I think.
Okay. All right.
That is, yeah.
So tell us, how did this comedy journey start for you? Did it start off in Chicago, well, the outskirts of Chicago? How did you get into this comedy life?
Well, I mean, I think, and I think this is true for anyone who's like really pursuing comedy. You just kind of like the way like a musician likes the sound of music. I think comedians, I just always really love the sound of not just laughter, but like the lead up to the laughter, kind of that release. So I was always just watching sitcoms and God, I'm from the 90s. So like there's this thing called Mr. Science Theater 3000, where it's just like this guy and two robots making fun of movies. And I just thought that was hilarious. And I just, it just kind of got in me. I just wanted to keep chasing it. Like, how can I make people laugh? How can I be the funny one? Because that just seemed really cool to me.
It is, making people laugh is like it's a gift. It is a true gift that especially in these times that we live, we need people like you. So we appreciate people like you.
Oh, you're welcome.
What was that moment for you where you were growing up? Did your grandma tell you were funny, or was it, what was it? How did you know? When did you know you were funny?
Well, I think I was the only one who could make my grandma stop on her tracks. So I think, that was probably how I knew it was funny. I don't know. I'm kind of like the classic case. Grew up in like a house, a divorce was happening, and, I wanted to relieve the tension. And so I think I just kind of like making my mom laugh, especially during those sad times. So, I learned that was a skill set that I did have.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. Did it help your mom? Did it relieve your mom going through? Because the divorce is hard. I mean, I couldn't imagine what she was going through. And then you got this little boy telling you jokes.
I think it helped. I don't know. She's still a very serious person. I would say I'm the only funny person in my family. Everybody else, they like sports, and that's about it.
So they're serious.
Yeah. So I'm kind of
games around here. Stop laughing, man. Get away from me with all these jokes. Get time for that.
Oh yeah. So for them, it wasn't about laughter. It's more about when they were like, okay, stop being a smart aleck. Stop. When they would try to stop the laughter, I was like, okay, I know I'm funny. Something's happening.
So you said you grew up in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
What were some of your comedic influences in the night? I mean, we all have that whole, Martin and Def Comedy. Was that you? Who were your comedic influences?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like in the 90s, I was watching like 1970s Eddie Murphy, like when he was on SNL, doing like James Brown in the Hot Tub, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. That kind of stuff was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would watch like Living Single with my mom. Martin, definitely. Shanae,
Right.
didn't know what was happening with that, but that was very funny to me. But yeah, kind of like because the 90s was such a great time for like sketch comedy on television. You had In Living Color, Saturday Night Live, Mad TV, kind of the late 90s. So all that stuff, being in the burbs was just kind of like my gateway into like what could be possible with comedy.
Right. And anything is possible with comedy, right? Would you agree? I mean, you could take a funeral and make it funny. I mean, if you are that, it's a talent, it's a gift. You'll be surprised that the smallest thing you can make funny, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially if you don't like the person at the funeral.
Right.
That helps. Yeah.
Don't ask me at the funeral if you don't like it. Tell them do not come. Do not at the funeral. So tell us what your first getting on stage for the first time. Were you a stand-up comedian or you a writer? What's your specialty?
Yeah, like it's interesting. I definitely went into improv and sketch first, and I'm kind of coming to stand up right now. But kind of my first experience, I did it was forensics, which I think people know that more as like speech and debate.
Okay.
And so I was on the speech team in college, and there was this event where you had to write a speech, but you could put jokes into it. And I think that kind of really like caught this bug, because then if your jokes were funny, you got a trophy, you got a little award, and so like it really gave me something to chase for. So yeah, that was my first time getting into that. I think back to those speeches, and I cringe. They're not good, but that was definitely the start of launching.
You got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere, especially on this journey of comedy and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say to a comedian that wants to step out there? Because I thought about getting into comedy, and I didn't talk to our friend Seth about this. I thought about it. But I can get on stage and do anything. I can give a speech, I can sing, but comedy is tough. I mean, it is a tough thing. But what would you say to somebody who wants to do it but doesn't know what to do?
Yeah, I would say don't be afraid to be cringe, even though I just said cringe. Like don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Like the thing about comedy is you have to fail. Like that, the only way you can get good is if you fail. And a lot of people, they try it, they fail, they're like, well, I'm not good at this, and they walk away. Like the failure is step one. Unfortunately, you got to be willing to fall flat on your face, and then because then once you do that, well, I'm never doing that again. And that's how you learn to kind of like, what is your voice and like what is your wheelhouse.
But doesn't the voice work different for different crowds too? So if you fail at this one comedy spot, should you go somewhere else and try another? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially like I don't know if this is clear, but when I say I do, improv and sketch, that's a very white thing to do, is to do improv.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us about it for those that don't know. Is improv and sketch like SNL? Because we have a friend that's on SNL now. Is it the same type of? Explain that to the audience.
They're different. Sketch is definitely what SNL is doing, like those like these little mini scenes. There's like kind of sketching out an idea. Improv is this like I'm gonna get a little artsy fartsy, sorry, but it's a very artistic endeavor of like you get a word and you're trying to like, how can I interpret this? And you're trying to build a scene out of nothing, really. So it takes a lot of teamwork and bonding with like your scene partner and your improv team to say yes and build the whole scene together. But it's very white.
Is it like, whose line is it anyway? That show? It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay. How there's just Wayne Brady,
right? Like and then you come up with okay. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. But you say it's white, right? But it's comedy. I guess it is. This is the first Harlem, right? We're in the middle of Harlem radio right now. So
I know exactly. I'm trying to I'm trying to understand my audience. So you do have to like kind of curtail what you want to bring up with who's going to be listening to it. I learned a lot about Dave Matthews Band. I'll say that.
What's the Dave Matthews Band song? What's one of the first songs we know?
I couldn't tell you.
I didn't even put you on the spot. I'll look it up. I know Dave Matthews Band, but yeah, I hear you. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Born to Run, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's Bruce Springsteen. I get them confused. Anyway, but yeah, it's a lot of different audiences, and kind of like learning to kind of gel with them. And that's a big part of improv too, is you kind of learn a lot about audience reaction, because like if they're laughing, you kind of want to go in that direction. But if you say something and they're not laughing, okay, we're going to avoid that. So you kind of learn to like read your audience and kind of adjust your performance to it, which then does help you when you do like sketch and improv, or sorry, sketch and stand up.
You know, the crazy thing about comedians is that there was a time when comedians could say things that you would not politically get in trouble for. But now you all have to be very particular about what you say. Do you find yourself being particular, or do you not care?
I mean, I think you just have to be smart, because I think all the like controversial things that comedians say in the past, it was all said very smartly. I
Right.
think with the rise of social media and smartphones, people are like, oh, I'm going to try my hand at comedy. I'm just going to say something really offensive. Like, I think you can still say, edgy things. You just have to be a little bit more smart about it, because I think we're comedian, non-comedian, we're all a little bit smarter now with the technology at our fingertips. So
But
you can.
isn't that not fair? Like we need comedian, because everybody's thinking what comics used to say. So now it's like, okay, well, if you don't say, you're gonna get canceled if you say so and so, So being smart is the important thing, business wise, right? If you want your money to keep coming in, you got to be careful about what you say.
That's true. But I guess you're right. I guess I just don't worry about it, because I teach comedy as well. I teach improv, and this question comes up about like saying offensive things. The thing I say is, like, if you're already worrying about saying offensive things, you're probably not going to say it, because the people who are going to say things that get canceled, they don't consider that. So
I don't care.
Yeah.
So when you get on the stage, I'm sure you're nervous, because I'm an artist too. What are some things that you do to like relax before you get on stage? Do you take shots? Do you just
No, you don't want to see me do comedy on shots.
you can't do sketch. You can't do that.
Oh no, I'll fall.
Okay.
I'll tumble. What do I do? Do some deep breathing. I'm a big, I live in LA, so I love yoga. I'll do some stretching, some deep breathing. I like to make a playlist. Beyonce soothes me. So yeah, just like listening to the music that relaxes me, and just like gets me in the right headspace.
So have you ever I want to ask you a deep question. Have you ever used comedy as a way to process something heavy when you got on stage? A lot of comedians do that, and it's a therapy for a lot of comedians. Is that something that you've done before or that you do now?
I have. I'm a gay man by trade, so so part of the LGBT community. And there was a time, I think it's still going on now, in Florida. There was the whole like "don't say gay" rule, and I thought that was ridiculous. For teachers, they couldn't even say that. So I wrote this sketch and I filmed it, and I was working with this like Instagram account, and they put it up, and it's basically just me being a gay teacher, kind of like talking around the very gay summer I had, just using like, oh yeah, me and my buddy exchanged rings with each other just to show how masculine we were with each other. So, because I do think,
Lord have mercy, what is he talking about? Rings?
right. But yeah, that is a real thing of like, I think comedy is such a great thing to help process the heavy stuff happening in the world, because it just keeps coming.
It's super heavy right now, and we need people like you and your comedy friends to really give us what we need and not be worried about being. And I think that's what artists always reflect the times. Even like black artists back in the day in the 60s and 70s, they reflected the times, and we need you all to be our voice and give us that relief that we need. When have you ever bombed? Have you ever had a horrible time on stage, or you just like, man, I'm about to start crying right now?
Yeah. Do you want to list? How many do you want to know about?
I want to know a couple of. Tell us a couple of times. Give us a few times when it happened to you.
Oh, well, it's funny. I had a coworker at this like remote job that I had. She was very bad at math. I don't want to say too much, but I tried to mimic her and make fun of her on stage for a stand-up set, and nobody cared. Like, and I it was a good lesson because I was like, oh, right. They don't know her. They're not seeing her every day like I am. So like, that's not going to translate for people who aren't, on the same Zoom calls as me.
Yeah.
There was that one, but I think, the worst one, I think the worst one though, after, the COVID bans had been lifted, a group of improvisers, this was back in Chicago, we got asked to do, to be entertainment for a prom.
Mm-hmm. For a high school prom?
A high school prom, because they weren't allowed to dance yet, but they could still be in the same room. It was still like social distancing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, oh, let's hire this improv team. There were 6 of us. We were in a banquet hall, and they gave us one microphone that we just had to pass. And those kids were miserable.
I'm sure they were.
We were miserable, but we were getting paid, so that helped.
Right. That's all that matters. If you're getting paid, you know what? I heard a lot of comedians, you get on stage. Have you ever had a story where you didn't get paid? Has that ever happened to you? You got on.
I mean, I've had to follow.
They pay you now. They pay you now.
Oh, they pay me, but like I've had to really hound people. I'm good about getting the bag.
You know what's so funny is I used to hang out in the comedy clubs. I won't say their names. It was pretty big comedians out in LA. And I'll never forget, they were arguing backstage about money. I was like, why don't they just pay the man? So you had those situations on Sunset with different people who did, I don't know. Yeah, that Sunset was a club. It's the industry, when you're working at night. But I think that's a grind too. Talk about the grind of being a comedian. And you will make it big one day, but it is a hustle. It is a grind to get into that arena, right? To that.
Absolutely. I mean, well, first of all, no one really thinks what you're doing is work. It's such like a thankless, job to do, because you're making people laugh, and people we make our families laugh all the time around the dinner table or in like barbecues or whatever. So no one really thinks much of it. So they're like, well, I don't really need to pay you that much. And then now it's all, it's very hard with like social media, because people are clubs and, TV shows, even they're looking at like the follower numbers on your Instagram and TikToks. And so like, you got to do that. And I miss the days where you could just be talented and a little bit cute and, get on TV.
They get on TV. But I think for everyone, and you said you were gay, a gay Black man out there who is breaking barriers, I think it's something you should be commend yourself for.
Thank you.
Do you think you're a voice for people who are voiceless, who want to be in your position?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I do. That's I don't really think about that too much, because I'm getting older, and I'm seeing the younger generation coming up.
Yeah.
I think I do. I do. And I like that, because I wish I had someone like me when I was coming up, because it is very, I never really saw myself, it was either one or the other. I never really saw someone who like had both identities. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's Gerard Carmichael right now, but it is nice to kind of like hopefully be kind of a beacon for somebody.
Yeah, that's good, man. I really appreciate that. What do you think next? What's the next move for you? What do you got going? What you got going on?
What have I got going on? Well, oh my gosh. Yeah, I made a movie. I don't know.
Oh, really? Oh, tell us about it.
I made a short film. So it's kind of like a setup to like medical dramas like The Pit, Grey's Anatomy. Okay. It's called Surgeons, and it's basically about these 2 gay actors who are kind of like had a romantic past, and now they're working on a scene together. And so the movie kind of cuts between the hospital set and the real life, and they're kind of like working through their issues while doing this very poorly written medical drama scene. So it's a little bit of a rom-com.
Well, where can people find that? Is it out yet? Are you still
not out yet? We're submitting it to festivals. I actually just found out before I logged on here. We got into our second festival. Yeah, so we're gonna be. I don't know if I can.
Oh, you don't say it yet. You don't say it yet.
Yeah, we're releasing 2 film festivals right now, and once it's out there, we'll put it up on YouTube or something.
And tell people how they can find you as well.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is Black Chandler. Black is spelled BLK. Chandler like Chandler from Friends. It's also Black Chandler on TikTok as well.
Listen, you have a show coming up that we need to talk about, or we need to sell some tickets right now for, because we need people to show up. That's why you're here right now. So tell us, tell the audience how we can catch you on this next show that you got coming up.
Thank you, Phil. So my show, it's a solo show, just me. It's called The Professor. Like I said, I teach improv comedy. I've met a lot of fascinating students throughout the years. I've been teaching for about 8 years right now. And so the show is me as a teacher, and I'm kind of like treating the audience like they're in my class. Hopefully this doesn't deter people. There's a lot of audience interaction, so I get to flex my improv skills as well as my writing ones. And then also the idea is that my students are delivering their monologues for the final class, but I'm also playing every single student who's doing a monologue. So I get to do some characters and also do some audience work. So I'm really excited.
So so where is it located? We get the tickets again.
Yes. So it's going to be at the Broadwater Theater, second stage, which is on Santa Monica Boulevard here in LA. Tickets
That's
are
Santa Monica in Santa Monica. I mean, in LA, right?
Right. Don't go to Santa Monica, the city.
I'm thinking about it over there by the DMV. That's Santa Monica over there. Like, but I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I literally had this conversation a week ago. This is a real thing we talk about out here. So yeah, Santa Monica Boulevard in LA, so on the east side. Tickets are on Eventbrite. It's a part of this what do we call it? The Saturday Night Review that Seth Thomas is putting together. So there's like a different solo show the second Saturday of every month through I think February of next year. So it's really cool.
We're gonna put the everything you just said at the bottom of this video. And so I wish you the best. I know, any final thoughts for the audience?
No, I mean, well, stay strong. It can feel daunting, the times that we're living in, but like there's still light, silver linings are everywhere. So yeah, find your joy wherever you can. And don't feel bad about laughing in these dark times.
And we're going to find our joy in watching you on stage, Damon Royster. Thank you so much. Listen, I had you on my show before you blew up. So I am so happy that you are here, brother. And I wish you the best. And I know you're going to do well. So hold tight for me in the green room, okay?
I will. Thank you, Phil.
All right, thank you. Listen, we just had Damon Royster, up-and-coming comedian. He is doing well. I believe it. And I'm looking forward to seeing him grow on stage and on TV. So you listen to Phil and Friends right here on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Get the tickets and follow Damon Royster. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.